Hey everyone, Sumit on this side. So I have been building a coding agent for a while now. I have been actually building LLM enabled applications for almost 2 years now, full time. And I have a very different thesis around why I believe the world is going to be empowered with agentic coding or vibe coding or AI powered coding, however you phrase it. And there are a couple reasons. So I've been in this for quite a while now. Also, the idea of nocodo, this product that I'm going to show you, goes a long way back. So nocodo.com, the domain name, is with me since 2013. It's since then that I've been holding on to some of these ideas around how code generation could be run at scale. And this is, from inspiration from Django, Ruby on Rails, and many such frameworks where a single command can generate a lot of code for you. But of course, now in the last 3-4 years, it has become clearer and clearer that models are really good at generating code. In the last 6 to 12 months, I would say there's so much that has happened. There are so many new models, and there is something coming up every week. I have a different take on this, and this video is me introducing what my different opinion is and my opinionated way about building software with coding agents. So let's dig into it. Okay, first of all, the way nocodo is built and how it is built, how it is structured, etc. Those are all exciting, and I'm going to show you. Maybe not in this video, maybe I'll touch upon it. But what is more important to understand is that nocodo is itself built out of coding agents. So I have not touched, like I barely written less than 100 lines of code in a code base which is probably at this moment like 40,000 lines of code. The lines of code don't really matter. What matters is that I give demos with nocodo every day, almost every day, and I have early adopters as clients. I am already onboarding somebody else from the US. It's a team, and other than that, from within India, I have 2 or 3 teams that I'm talking to. Now, all this, demoing and the reaching out, the marketing, emailing, Twitter, LinkedIn, Reddit, all of this, I have time for all of them. I'm a solo founder, I'm an engineer, and I have time for all of these other things, which are, well, really business things. The reason I have time for them is because I don't code by hand anymore. I don't even review most of my code. Like sometimes, yes, some architectural decisions I need to sit through because something is really a little detailed, needs a little bit of planning, and we are going to walk through all of those things. So this is going to be a video series that I'm creating. Of course, I'm not I'm not a proficient video series creator, so please help me out. If you have some comments, reach out to me. But yeah, in general, I'm very available. So what first thing that I want to lay out is that this product is in itself created with either Claude Code or opencode, and in the case of opencode, I'm using models GLM 4.6 or I'm using Grok Code Fast 1. This is just to set the context that I'm practicing what I'm preaching. I am an engineer, which means that I do have the architectural thought process, the terminology is very clear in my head, but that does not have to be for everybody. If we have lowered the barrier to entry from like coding every day to not coding every day and just having the concepts is good enough, I'm going to show you, and this is my own challenge, that nocodo is going to be that kind of a product where you will be guided through that entire process of building software without knowing also all the tech jargons or all the architectural patterns. I'm not saying that you will not have to learn, but I'm saying that you will not have to know them now, and there's a big difference. So you can know them through the process of building, and that's going to be fantastic because then your barrier to entry is even lower. Who does this impact? Who is this for? I think who it comes down to, so there are two ways that I look at is enabler and multiplier. So in my case, I'm getting a multiplier effect. So I already knew how to code. I knew how to build software. I've been an engineer for 16 years. I've been through at least 12, maybe 14 startups. I've built and led teams across US, in Canada, in Germany, and in India. I mostly have worked remotely for most of my career, and I've worked with tons of really good startups. And that means I know how to code. I've been an engineering manager, I've been an engineering leader, I've been an engineer. I've written code for at least, 20 plus years. And I still write code. But as a founder, I don't want to. So I can write code, but I don't want to because as a founder, particularly now that I'm a solo founder, I have to do so much more. So for me, AI is a multiplier. When it comes to programming, AI is a multiplier. But let's say you're not a programmer, and that's my aim, that's my focus. So my focus is on people who are not programmers, who want to create software. And for them, if you do not know how to create software, this is an enabler because this allows you to do something which you do not know how to do at this moment. So the multiplier effect is great. Like I can probably do 2x, 3x the work, and I'm not even hustling. I don't even do like a lot of overwork. I don't burn like 12 hours a day. Crazy stuff that is happening all over the internet. I'm not doing that. I'm still producing software. My software is very matured. I have demos. I'm reaching out. I'm doing a ton of these things, and I'm still not killing myself. So imagine that multiplier power. Now imagine that if you do not know how to code, and if you could suddenly unlock that capacity, then that's a massive enabler. That's much more than I'm getting out of the system. You are going to get much more out of the system because you are going to be able to do something which you cannot do at this moment. So this is the first takeaway I want you to have. I want you to, like, if nothing else that I tell you is important to you, this should be the one thing you should take away, that you will have an enabler effect. You will get the enabler, the empowerment effect out of AI. Much more than I will, because I knew already how to code most of these other systems. Also, I knew how to do very well. I've been, of course, as a solo founder or as an early stage startup guy, I've also learned very, deeply about analytics, marketing, sales, etc. I'm not a salesperson, but the rest of them I do fairly well as well. I didn't have time, so I got time because I could do coded, like I could build the software in an automated fashion. So I extracted the time from that and then invested the time into other things as a founder should. But in your case, if you didn't know how to build software, or if you're building a software enabled business, or if your business is not related to software but software is part of your workflow, like you really need customized software as part of your workflow, this is the time that you will go ahead and build it. Now, just a disclaimer, I don't believe. So there are many schools of thought and there are many debated thoughts. So one side says that you cannot build an entire SaaS, an entire CRM, an entire ERP, etc. out of just vibe coding or agentic coding, etc. To me, by the way, these words vibe coding and agentic coding kind of overlap, but okay, sure, there are maybe some differences, but it's not so important, at least not for this first video. So to me, I don't think you will have to build those software, and this is where I draw the line. I don't think every business is trying to build ERP. So the people who are using that as their main communication stance, like if you go on Twitter, LinkedIn, Reddit, they are going to come to you and say, hey, don't even think of building software with AI because you cannot build an ERP. Who the hell does want to build an ERP with agentic coding? Nobody wants to. If somebody is saying that's the defense, that engineers are the only ones who will build software and nobody else can, that's bullshit. I call bullshit on that, because there are tons of existing software, particularly high quality existing open source software, which you can start building upon. You can build your business workflow. You can define your workflow on top of existing really high quality software out there, open source, which means this really goes ahead. And this is where, I don't want to get into this topic right now in this video, but I definitely want to touch upon it. I don't believe SaaS is the future. I don't believe that you have to be, as a business owner, dependent on what software is already there by a platform person who is making hundreds of millions of dollars, billions of dollars, just because they can create one software, maybe tons of customized workflows, but still one software, and sell to millions of people. I believe those millions of people can now customize existing out of the box, available on the shelf open source software and customize on top. So I'm not saying that you have to build entire CRM yourself. I'm not even saying you have to build the CRM at all. So whoever are saying those things, I don't believe them. They are bullshit. That's complete bullshit according to me. What has to happen is that I should be, let's say I need a task management system, which is, let's say my my team, my manufacturing, my sales, how it works is like niche. I should be able to come in and I should be able to define that niche, build on top of existing task management or other systems, and be able to customize them in a way that my team, like my workflow and my software, they fit each other. In fact, the way it should be fitting is that the software that I define should be fitting to my business, not the other way around. In the current era of SaaS, you expect the business to fit into the SaaS. I do believe that is going to end. I believe that the end of that era has come. I believe that we should be able to take existing great quality open source software, which means, by the way, more money going back to open source. This is something I truly believe should happen. Developers who are building high quality software, who are engaged in open source, should be better paid. So, taking a step back from all of these things, what are my high level views? My high level views is that AI is here good enough to code. You do not have to start from scratch. So whoever says that you have to build an entire ERP, don't believe in them. Do not go with them. Okay? believe that you have to define your custom workflows on top of existing high quality software. So I'm not talking about, hey, let's go to Lovable and create something out of thin air. No, we don't have to do that. You can take existing templates. You can take existing. In fact, even for Lovable, Replit, Bolt, Emergent, all of these platforms, they are still using, and they are, by the way, doing a great job in opening up the mindset that you can come, give your intent, give your ideas, and build something. But I'm saying let's take this a step further and build entire full stack applications, because there are so many high quality frameworks or open source applications already out there. All we have to do is add some customizations on top of it. Of course, there'll be edge cases where you will need to do deeper, engineering or deeper software challenges that have to be solved, etc. But we'll get there. So those are the main takeaways, and that's what I want you to focus on, is that we can build software, we can create software that is according to what our business needs instead of the other way around. And now let me walk you through how I prompt. So I'm going to walk you through nocodo in a while, but before I walk you through nocodo, I want to walk you through how I prompt. So what I'm going to show you is, this is going to be, this is going to look like, oh my goodness, this is so geeky and technical, but let's set aside the interface of this, because I'm going to, of course, show you through, where I am coding at this moment, which is on a Linux terminal. I have Claude Code, etc. And I'm going to show you through that. Let me open up another terminal. And by the way, just for context, I'm using Windows, and I'm using Windows subsystem for Linux, so WSL. And that allows me to gain access to a Linux machine, because primarily all my development, and you should too if you're building typical web applications, business applications, Linux is the most native place to do that. And I'll cover you how to get to it. In fact, nocodo solves those problems very nicely in a way that you get access to Linux environments, but you don't have to manage those environments at all yourself. Okay, so before we get into those things, let me first walk you how do I think through. And this is the most important part. Let's say this is a folder where I have my project. This is nocodo's folder, one of nocodo's many ideas that I'm trying on. This is about project installation command. So if you can imagine a web stack application, your full stack, front end and back end, you will have these commands where, hey, run me the backend. Hey, build me the backend. Hey, deploy the backend to somewhere. Or same for the front end. Okay. Again, I'm going to explain what is backend, what is deployment, all of these things in future videos. But this is just an introduction video, so it may be a little bit, scrambled and a little bit quick. But just hang on with me. I'm going to create a series of videos. I'm going to create a bunch of videos which will go through all of these topics. We will go through exercises. And by the way, I'm also hosting sessions. I'm hosting sessions where I'm teaching, because I'm fully in on this. I've spent 2 years full time. This is something I'm thoroughly convinced. My conviction is really strong. If you want to learn, if you want to see how you would be empowered by building your own software, I'm not charging you for this. This is going to be all free, and I'm going to take sessions. I'm going to take classes. If you want to join one of my classes, which are also free, by the way, just ping me somewhere else. I'm going to open up the chats or the links or something in further videos, and then you can join. Okay. So let's first quickly see what I've been doing. So this is something I've been doing just since morning. Okay. Sorry, my Claude is not enabled. Let's say I enable Claude and then I run it. And this is just something I was negotiating with Claude. What I was doing was, look at my prompts, and you don't have to look at the technical output. It is giving a lot of technical output. It is showing me where in the code I should do it, but look at the thought process. Let's say I have this business situation where I had to ask a question against an existing software. So we'll look at the prompt and we'll look at what is my thinking process, because this is going to be important. Again, I'm not starting, as you can imagine, we are not starting from let's build a homepage. We are not doing that. We are already beyond, because the people I'm communicating with, I'm hoping that you on the other side, you've already tried Lovable, Replit, Bolt, Emergent, all of those things. So you know what it is to build a homepage. If you're not, go try them. Go take up some of the learning lessons from there, and then come to my courses, because my courses are a little more higher, like they need a little more background knowledge. Again, I'm going to fill in all the gaps when it comes to like technical terms, understanding of architecture, how do you prompt, what are the key terms you use when you're talking to AI, how to build documentation, how to anchor upon that documentation, how to take inspiration from existing open source software. All of those I'm going to cover. But what I'm not going to cover is probably the basics of like, hey, create me a homepage, okay, or change the color, change the buttons, etc. Those you should stick to the existing platforms which are already solving them. They have great free tiers. Go ahead, use them, build something, practice, then come back. I'm not going anywhere. Come back and reach out to my videos. Watch my videos, reach out to me. I'm going to definitely help you. But I want you to do some of the homework. I want to see that you're as invested as I am in this. Remember, this is the next 10 years of software that is going to change. Absolutely change. I have no doubts about it. if you feel that you want to get the most out of what AI can do, what LLMs can do, I would say do a little bit of homework, come back here, follow this channel after that, and then you will see the power coming through. Okay. So with that aside, I'm going to talk about this particular prompt. I have a series of just 3 prompts, just 3 since morning. So what is the context of this? Let me also show you the context of this project, because without the context, maybe it wouldn't be clear. So how I'm going to show you is I'm going to show you exactly how, so this is going to be a little more detailed, but this is how I actually run my project. So I have a Windows client. I build the Windows client. I'm going to first pull my changes. I'm going to build the Windows client on Windows, and then, so these are the latest changes which came through. By the way, all of these lines of changes are all AI coded. I do not write code anymore. Just for context, I'm going to keep repeating that many times throughout my videos, but just for context, I have stopped writing code. I need to make sure that you understand that this is the power that I'm going to be talking about. You can go from intent, high level thoughts, dive into the planning or the architectural decisions, do a little bit of homework, learn a little bit, bring in a friend, etc. That kind of collaboration. But we are not talking about hundreds of dollars per hour in development costs. We are not talking that. We are beyond that era now. We are way beyond that era. So I do not write code, and I want to let you understand. I want to rather explain how do I not write code, but code is still generated. Software is still being generated. Okay. So we go ahead, we build the desktop application. In here, I'm going to see if the backend is running. So nocodo has a backend and a front end. Again, we are not focused on the details of nocodo because we are anyway not using nocodo right now. We are using Claude, and we are looking at the prompts. The prompts matter because nocodo is also a code building software. So it's still prompts at the end of the day, right? So what I'm focused on is let's focus on how do we shape prompts. I'm going to take a specific example of some interaction I had today morning, and I'm going to go through that. That's one of my calls coming up, by the way. Sorry for the interruption, but yeah, I'm going to end this video soon. So at the command discovery time in manager, so I know manager is the backend, and then the front end is the desktop app. So there's only desktop app, Android and iOS apps are coming, but they're not built yet. So at the command discovery time, so what is command discovery? I'll clear that out with in a moment. Are we using our work items to store the communication between our LLM agent and the model? Okay, I'll repeat this sentence a few times, this question a few times, but let's wait for the build to happen. But before that build happens, and we can see the desktop app. What is happening is that nocodo is a coding agent. Okay, this is nocodo. It has already come in. So nocodo is a coding agent. What it means is that just like Lovable, Replit, Bolt, etc. It has an AI model. It's a large language model which it is connected through by an API. Okay, I'll explain all of these jargons later on. But in short, there is a large language model which interprets my requests. So my requests are in my prompts, the prompts that I put in. Like you are seeing, this is a prompt, and then it's calling a bunch of these tools. So search tool, etc. Like Claude Code is doing. Nocodo also does the same. Nocodo does this in its own way. Okay, this is common for all the coding agents, Codex, Cursor, they all do the same. Lovable, Replit, Bolt, they are all calling the model, and they're saying that, hey model, you have access to this user's prompt, and these are the tools. You can search for files, you can read files, you can list files, blah, 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 blah. You can write files also. That's how coding actually happens. So now with these, it's going to dive in and it's going to research. But this is what is the important point. Like I said, we are going to repeat this at the command history time, command discovery time. So what is command discovery? Okay, so let's log in and we'll see what is command discovery. I log into my own local machine. So this is me from my Windows app connecting to the Linux, which is running the backend. Okay. These details are not of the most importance at this moment, but just to understand that I am connected to a backend. Here is a set of saved commands. Okay. Now these saved commands, what they do is allow me to do things like run a project, like I said. So commands are basically for me to run a project. So build a project, run a project, etc. This feature is not complete, but there is something crucial here that I thought I would like to start off as the first video. So prompting is what I want to focus on. So this is a fairly complex product. Already the product, as you can see, it does all of these things. By the way, you can prompt, and the prompts are taken by AI models, as in nocodo takes them through AI models, all the tools are available. So if you click on show tools, you can see all the tools that are being accessed by the model. So the model asks nocodo, hey, I want to do list files, I want to do read a file, I want to do write a file, etc. And at the same time that all of this is happening, this is stored in our backend, in our database on a particular file. So my question was, so command discovery, let's come to command discovery, the thing that we are talking about here. These commands are actually discovered. So let me go through a fresh project. Let's say this is a fresh project. I believe, okay, let's take another project where the commands are not already discovered. Here is a big discover button. Okay, when you click on this, what happens is there's going to be a start discovery process, which means it's going to look at the I think this project cannot have commands because it's an incomplete project, doesn't really have anything. This one may have commands. This is a stock viewer application. Let's see. Yes, it discovered these commands, which means that it figured out that this is a Rust-based project. It could be, by the way, Python-based project, Ruby-based project, JavaScript-based project, doesn't matter. It scans the files. And there is an extra additional AI-based verification process, or rather AI-based command generation process as well, like command detection process. We're not using that. But either case, if you scan the code base or if AI scans the code base, it doesn't matter. You basically quickly understand that, oh, okay, this is a React project. This can be built, this can be run, this can be dev run, etc., etc. Those commands are listed to you. If I click on this, I save, they go and they are saved in the database for nocodo. Okay, so that means that these commands, as you have seen here, are now available here. So if I click on it, I can now execute them and so on and so forth. That's a very short summary, but I just want to get to what is important to me for this first video. Is that what I want to do, and here is the part. This is not simple to explain to AI, but you will understand, and this is something that I will keep on talking more and more in my videos, is that how do you talk to AI? So this, you have gotten a basic idea now. There are projects, there are prompts, and through prompts. So if you think about it, how is the set of commands detected by AI? Well, that is actually a prompt. In the source code, which we will do the next time in the next video, there's actually a prompt saying that, hey AI, can you, by using these tools that I give you, that I offer you, can you find out in this project what commands could be run? And what I'm asking here, okay, there's a commandception going on. So I'm talking about commands that are saved in nocodo, but here I'm talking about commands which are used to diagnose nocodo. Okay, so I'm not using nocodo, I'm using Claude Code, but I'm using Claude Code to diagnose this feature in nocodo. So what am I saying? I'm saying that at the command discovery stage in manager. So command discovery was happening here. When I clicked on this, which you saw when I went to Indie Stocks, I discover commands. When I clicked on this discovery came back. Right now it came back very fast because there's some caching, there's some code involved which just generates commands, but you can also go through the AI-based process. AI-based process will take longer. I cannot show you right now that because that feature is disabled, but you can imagine it will look something like this. So take any of these and you see that AI reads files, writes files, scans files, etc., which is exactly how this is being done. Like Claude Code is also doing the same. So Claude Code, nocodo, all of these coding agents, they have access to these read files, list files, let's call them tools. And through those tools, the calling of those tools or those functions, it gets to know your environment, your situation, your files. Okay, what do you have? And then comes up with a summary. This is the summary. Okay. No, during command discovery in the manager, you are not using work items. So basically what I wanted to do was these commands, when they are being discovered by AI, I'm actually not logging them. So to be very, very, high level overview, I'm not logging them. What I want to do is log them just like I log normal user prompts. And if you think about it, if you take a step back, like, yeah, that's actually true. Like if I'm just giving a prompt to scan this project to find out what commands there are that are possible in this project, why would they also not be just another prompt like this? Because they are just another prompt. So AI goes ahead and AI checks that, yeah, okay, I'm not saving the work items, but here is the deal. Here is what it figured out. Looking at blah, blah, blah files, it says that work ID is used as a placeholder, which means it's just a fake given to get the job done. It says that it actually creates an LLM agent session, which means LLM being large language model, it actually creates the session, which means it is, according to this, it stores the responses of the models which are coming from the models. That was the key thing that I was looking for. Are we storing? Of course, by the way, You could ask like, Sumit, why do you already not know? Because this is where you are not being a programmer, right? I don't have to be a programmer. Forget those ideas that every programmer has to know every line of code in their software. I don't need to know. The software still works because some of those decisions are actually taken by AI. I'm not scrutinizing every line of those decisions. When this feature was built, it had chosen to already save some of that data in the database. I was not aware of it. This is the interesting part. I was not aware of it. The software works. I gave my demo. I'm done. But you could say, okay, is that not a burden? We'll discuss about burden in the future videos. But trust me, in this case, not everything is a burden. The question is, am I getting major velocity? Yes, I am. I have saved so much time in building out this feature, and this feature is such a complex feature. I don't even know some of the inner details, but I can now go ahead and diagnose. So now I say, okay, fair enough. It looks like that work is not saved, but LLM session is, and messages are stored. So responses from models are actually stored. This was the key insight I needed. So then I asked, okay, this is my next prompt. The model uses tool calls, which means we can record each call and response if we wanted to, correct? Just like in regular work. So regular work is this. This is what users do. That is what is happening behind the scenes automatically. So I was like, can we then not do this just like users do, like save all of them exactly? And it says, okay, yes, you're absolutely correct. Again, this language doesn't really matter, but yes, the fact that you can save is given out, laid out in actual code. It diagnoses, it figures it out, and it says, gives me a plan like, yeah, you could either do it this way or that way. And then I add what is my goal. Now you could say, could you not have added your goal in the beginning? I could have, by the way. So that sometimes happens that you don't specify a goal in the beginning, but you can imagine I walked in 3 prompts what I walked to, and here is the conclusion. It clearly says what you will get out of it. Will these match my expectation? My expectation being the goal that I stated, that my goal is that the work that we are doing, the inner work, the hidden work that we are doing, can we also save it as a work item, W, capital work item, a structure and an actual entity in my software? Yes or no? And that's it. It says, yeah, you can do it. So the benefits at the end of this, if you do this, will be these, blah, blah, blah. And this is how I negotiate with AI. So this is just an introduction video. Again, I want to also cut it short here because I have a meeting coming up. But these key points I want you to keep in mind. And if you like what I'm talking about, please feel free to follow. Please reach out to me and I'll be more than happy to help. Thank you.